You are listening to the Hello Sport Podcast.
All right, welcome back to the Hello Sport Podcast. Some of unqualified opinion and unwavering bias. Just reaching out across the seas. Now, is it a Pacific Ocean? I'm not entirely sure. I feel like it is, but I'm not a big ocean guy myself. I sit here in Alexandria. Edward, bronzed as a berry, Dick, well and truly sunned, sitting in, just if I'm eyeing it off, a pretty nice hotel room. That bedhead, how's it been going? Getting a workout? Hey, bud.
Hey, buddy, how are you? Bedhead getting into its work. I believe it is the Pacific, Tom. And shout out to it, the vast and the greatest of all the oceans. I've always been a Pacific guy myself.
Same. There used to be an Air Pacific. I don't know if that's still going around. Air Pacific was quite a fun airline to go on.
Why was that?
Because as a kid, they gave you shit to colour in, and I'm sure they did it on all of them, but Air Pacific was like the only plane I think I'd been on, so shout out to Air Pacific.
Shout out to Air Pacific. Shout out to Air Pacific. I am bronze, Tom. I'm on top of the fucking world over here, bruh. I feel for you back home, but Judy calls. And
who's Judy? So, for those of you living under a rock, metaphorical or otherwise, Eddy off on his honeymoon in Hawaii.
Hawaii.
That correct?
Yeah, bruh. I'm in Waikiki, which is basically like the surface paradise of the middle of the Pacific. It's a fucking.
The surface
it's a vibe
paradise.
Over. Yeah, as in like big resorts.
Okay.
Fucking
I
tourists everywhere. They come for your money.
Short. I've never been there, but surface paradise reminds me of a bit sort of like Bogue and.
It's a far nicer surface paradise. I'm just trying to set the scene as like it's very resorty. It's very fucking like, beach chairs on the sand. Exorbitant prices, that sort of thing. It's not like sleepy Hawaii. I'm in bustling Waikiki.
Yeah,
but it's fucking good, dude. I wanted the hustle and the bustle out the gate. I like poolside service, Tom. I like to be brought my pina coladas, my Aperol spritzers, my margaritas, my whiskeys if I'm feeling a bit naughty. Like I want the service. I want it brought with a smile. And you get a smile if you tip, buddy. I'll give you the hot tip.
Oh yeah.
If you tip, the demeanor changes like that. They can go from fucking salty as fuck to happy chappy in a moment.
That seems like something that would upset my dear friend Edward Simpson in the sense that why isn't happiness out the gate?
Well, listen, maybe I'm unfair. Some people aren't happy out the gate, and that's just a truth that they're not as happy as I probably would like out the gate. I'm
from the service
generally
industry
here. Obviously, some people are fucking lovely all the time, but like we were having a fucking drink the other night, and this lady came over and she's like, I don't know how to say this, but like this is actually like a service area because we bought a drink at the bar and then walked over. We were at Duke's. I don't know if you've heard of Duke's, but it's pretty wild. And I'm like, well, I didn't fucking know that, mate. I was told that like you could just sit wherever you wanted. Then it dawns on me that she's after a tip because if she can't serve the table, then she's missing a tip from that table. Give her a 20, whole demeanor changes. Couldn't have been nicer.
Really?
She starts apologising. Oh yeah, I'm so sorry. And then we're apologising. We're both apologising. Everyone's apologising.
God. So what? So how do
Mood
you
change like that?
But so what? You go? Oh, sorry. Do you want money out of my wallet, madam? Is that what's?
That's basically the long and the short of it, mate. They get paid like fucking dogs over here. So.
I know. I do feel bad for it. Like,
so I feel sorry for them, and they're out there just trying to fucking pay their way. So I get it.
I get it as well, but I'm also like, hey, I understand that the system's not fucking great for you over there, but so then shouldn't you basically be rimmying me from the jump?
Yeah, I would have expected a rimmy from the jump. I will defend her because it's probably been a long day.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
You got to be
10:30, 11 o'clock at night. People are off their guts. She's probably been run off her feet, Tom. So, I'll give her some slack, as it were. But it is interesting to see demeanor change when the fucking money comes out of the wallet, let me tell you.
How's the flight?
Cunt of a flight. I'll tell you why, Tom. Back went.
Oh, did it go?
Yeah.
We'd been talking about it the day of you leaving. You're like, yeah, back's a bit. Because you slept on a foreign bed.
I slept on a foreign bed and it didn't set me up well. Now, it wasn't my lower back that went. It was like higher up. So it was a foreign feeling and it was very uncomfortable. It went about 45 minutes in. I had to sort of like go and sort of pace the plane. Elsa took me up the back and like had me pushed up against this fucking like wall and shit, dude. It was awful. I was in a lot of pain. I had to like sleep on her like a child. It was a lot.
Oh God, that would have been just. I love the idea of fucking loudmouth, cocky fucking Eddy having to like lay on Ella's lap like he's a nursing child. My upper back hurt.
Yeah.
Did you not think about like just knocking
nice.
back some voddies, some whiskey, just like blowing your head off and falling asleep?
Well, what, Tom, do you think I came down the last fucking shower, my friend? Good Lord. I had a Valium, and then I started putting away double whiskeys like they were going out of fashion because I'm like, I just need to fucking knock myself out here. Then I asked the lady, I go, can I have a Panadol? And she came back and she's like, listen, you can't have a Panadol whilst you're drinking, so it's either the drinks or the Panadol or the Nurofen. I'm like... Keep running those keep running those whiskeys, baby.
Yeah, you keep the
Fuck the
Panadol,
Nurofen.
sweetheart.
Are you kidding me? No.
Right.
And that worked. I got myself into a bit of a stupor. I got myself into a stupor in the fucking lounge as well. So I was well on my way by the time that I started putting them away from my back. But it's just every 2 hours, like I'm up and I'm having to move. It's like the seats aren't built for us 6-footers, bro.
Nah, they're not. I mean, I don't feel like they're built for humans generally, but
Elsa seemed to fucking... Elsa had a spare seat next to her and she just like... She was laying out like it was a bed.
Oh, she had a spare seat for the whole flight.
Whole flight, yeah.
Dude, that's pretty good. Why the fuck did you get any of that spare seat? Actually?
It doesn't work.
Translate.
It doesn't translate, dude. If you're 5'5", you're in heaven.
But also, like, not broad. Like, if you're broad as well,
because she's
trying
so
to lay
narrow,
down.
dude. She could literally lay on her side and like tuck her fucking knees to her chest, and that's it.
She's basically, she can almost fit in one seat. Whereas you trying to do that would be, that's tough,
mate. She woke up dribbling. She said, which is a good sign of a fucking deep sleep. So. Listen, the flight wasn't that good, mate, but it's not too long. It's only like 9 hours.
That really isn't too bad at all.
No, it's not far. It's not bad, and it's through the night, right? So it's like 8:30. So you sleep and then you wake up, and it's like the new day. So it's perfect. You don't get jet lagged.
Is Hawaii sort of year-round, sunny, warm, good times?
Well, we should be going in, like, it's in the northern hemisphere, so it
should be wintry sort of now, but it's not.
Mate, it's hot as fuck. I think it's got to be hot year round. I don't know that for sure, Tom. Don't hold me to it.
It's a tropical climate, so I think they would have a bit of a rainy season, but it'd still be hot.
Fuck yeah, dude! I want to go to Hawaii.
Yeah, it's fucking mad over here. It does do this weird thing at the moment where it like sun showers.
Yeah,
but like legit ones. Like you look up and it's fucking blue and it's raining. Very odd.
Well, that's nice. And how is the sun? Hot? You do look tanned.
We've it's hot. It's fucking hot. It's not too hot though. It's not like Tassie hot. That sun fucked us up.
Well, that was ozone free.
Yeah.
Australian sun. Tropical sun,
right.
I feel like you can get tropical sun. You can sort of get into, I think, a little bit more.
Oh, I'm getting into the tropical sun, mate. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Ella's got her favourite tanning oil over here, so we've been working that into the ground. Just having a ball.
Good. That's good.
Just having a ball, mate.
You have left at a good time where I feel like Sydney's just getting into its humid work. And now maybe that's just a place I'm living in. I don't know. But the humidity for me the last, say, 4 to 5 days has been not as... I know it's only going to get worse, but it's like just the mere act of like walking up the stairs and you're like, oh, okay, I think I'm sweating. Great. Sweating.
Well, is that, mate, you'd want to hope it doesn't get any fucking worse. February historically been the worst for humidity in Sydney.
Yeah. I need to find a place with one of the great aircons all time. That is the goal.
Oh, mate, aircon will change your fucking life, bro.
Yeah.
I talk about it all the time, and I talk about it for a reason. It's life-changing.
Yeah, tell you what as well, I'd just like to take a moment to shout out our fucking... how good you're coming through from a visual quality perspective, considering we have done Zooms in the past where you've literally been like in a Voca and they've looked like complete piles of shit. This right now, clear as a bell.
I'd like to shout out this. It's a Sony I'm using here, Tom. I don't know anything more than that. I was given instructions by Tobler to set it up. He's done a marvelous job. It's
He
all
has.
working. It's all working swimmingly. But I look fucking clear as fuck, dude.
You do.
I look unbelievable,
Mate,
on this camera.
I can see the whites of your eyes, the sparkling blue, that Simpson greeny blue.
I look better than you do.
Well, that's not difficult, but I do look cool in this like one-man setup here. I will
You
say
do
that
look
much.
cool. You look cool, bro.
I look
you
cool.
look all right.
Do I look
How was your weekend back home, mate? Did you
Mate, we
did
had
you go for a rip?
No, I didn't. I bit of a gastro bug hit the Birmingham household, so it was a real shutdown, lock-in sort of a weekend, which was fun. We loved that. So from about Thursday, really, it sort of started to get into its work. I'm not going to name names, but look, one of the toilets in the house that we're looking after just started to like slow down on the flush. Just like it wasn't going down as smoothly as you would assume. And so I was like, oh, fuck, this feels a bit blockagey.
Bit more of a trying flush.
Yeah, trying flush. It looked like the toilet was working a flush. But what do you do when you see something like that and there are other toilets? You ignore it. You go, fuck it. I'm not going to pay attention to this. It's not a problem for right now. I don't care. Then I think later on it was like, oh, now when it flushes, the thing fills up with water to the point where it's going to overflow. And you go, oh, you're like, is this the moment? Then it goes down and, you know, maybe not all the paper goes or something like that. And you're just like, whatever.
On that, just quickly, I've always found it fascinating that the water tends historically to stop just before the edge.
Yeah. Like it knows.
Like very, very rarely will you get an overflow.
It's usually only in like pub toilets you'll get an overflow. I've never seen.
Oh, you'll get an overflow in a pub toilet, but those things are thrashed into death, so
Yes.
it makes a lot more sense.
Much more sense. So it didn't overflow. Then it went back down again. I choose to not ignore it. I acknowledge it and I say, no one use this toilet because it's problematic. Then someone in our family forgot in a moment of passion and went and blew that thing up because there's been gastro in our house and then went to flush and what can only be described as like a swirling tornado of shit just whoosh, as the water rises, much like the tides of the Younger Dryas, because I've been watching Ancient Apocalypse. It just went right to the tippy top and then settled a little bit, but then didn't go down. So basically, we had a real brown, like
Now,
body of
was-
water on our hands.
I know you're not naming names, but was it you?
I'm not naming names. What I won't do is name names. Okay? I won't name names. Now, the lid was closed, to my knowledge. Maybe it was me, maybe it wasn't me. I'm not going to say anything. And basically, it was acknowledged that, okay, we now have a body of water on our hands that no one wants to fucking deal with. So let's just,
Just shut the lid on this bitch.
let's close the lid, walk out of there, back out, close the door, and let's just take stock of what's happened, and then we'll try and game plan this motherfucker.
Or just tape the door up and go out of use.
Well, this room's no longer for human.
Just leave it for your mum and for Tim.
Yeah. And maybe they
As
just
like
decide to
a-
shut down the whole room itself and just board it up.
Just board the room up, mate.
Yeah.
If we know a couple of chippies, just come round and jip rock that fucker up.
Yeah.
Go,
This room doesn't
nothing to
exist
see
anymore.
here.
It's a hallway now, dude.
yeah.
And that
It's
would
a
have been
hallway.
that was certainly on the table. Nothing was off the table.
Listen, if I'm digesting what you're explaining well, and I like to think I am, I'd be boarding that fucker up.
Close it off. Board it
Board it up.
up.
Remember the time that I
shit in the toilet. I went back in there a couple hours later just to go and run the eye over it, just to see how this thing was going. Guess what? Miracle.
Recovered?
Miracles.
Oh, miracle.
It was all gone. It was just all gone, dude. Now, am I saying that it's like divine intervention? It's the only explanation I can think of. That say like Jesus or whatever God we want to use has come down and just...
Or maybe God used it after you.
And he's going, well, fuck, someone's got to clean this.
God came down. God's in fucking desperate need. God's got to go poo-poo, and he sees that and goes, fuck, I'm going to have to clear this bitch out. Divine intervention. Now God's got to clean shit up.
I also don't like that you said after me. I'm not naming names. I'm not saying who did it. And that's all I'm saying. So don't say after me, just after it was used. But
yeah, right.
There is a good...
Well, I mean, there's a fucking good chance it was you.
Well, it's a one.
There's a good chance. There's a good chance.
There's a 1 in 3 chance. Zoe too small to use the shit up, but there's 3 other people. There's 3 people.
I think that's very unfair to Evie Rose, fucking throwing her into the mix.
She uses toilets, so there is a 1 in 3 chance. Now, all I'm saying is that maybe you're right. Maybe God did come down and use it, but that's basically been the highlight, if you can use that term, of my weekend. Here you are in Hawaii, sunning your dick, just living your life, pounding pina coladas.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And
it's always a tale of two cities with you and I, isn't it?
It seems to be that way, buddy. I look forward to the day when the when the polar the polar ice caps,
when the magnetic
oh, we've lost Eddie's light. When the magnetic fields switch and you'll have children and mine will be like older, and then I'm just going to be like sucked in.
Well, that sounds fucking awful, Tom.
Yep, it is. It was. But whatever, mate. It is what it is, you know? It is what it is. You just got to fucking sack up and keep trucking nut. But I was saying before we got cut off by the technology gods, just shout out to Pez of Grey Cricketer fame for his help in giving us all the info for how they do their recording remotely, because you look fucking terrific.
Shout out to him. He's a great man, a generous man, a beautiful soul, and he's helped us immeasurably because I look fucking terrific and we all know it. So shout out to Pez.
What a time to be alive. Look at this, other side of the world.
Technology, baby. It's bringing people closer together.
Yep. And tearing
Friends
us
from
all
afar.
down. And tearing us down. You know what I mean? Which is
and
also
tearing
cool.
us down. Well, we had a nice rhythm. I'm just trying to find it again because the technology gods fucked us. I was yelling at you for fucking 5 seconds, being like, "Get off your fucking phone, mate!" And you were actually frozen. I just thought that you were fucking choosing to ignore me. I'm like, you can't.
No, I couldn't.
Oi!
I couldn't hear, and I was frozen. You haven't said anything about my hat yet, and I'm just trying to work out why that would be.
Listen, I think that hat's fucking terrific, Tom. Probably because I've already seen it, but it's it's a nice hat.
Have you already seen it?
It's a really nice hat.
Yeah, it's a good hat.
I was wearing some really nice board shorts today at the beach, Tom.
Oh yeah? How'd they look how'd they look on that perfect chocolatey brown tan skin of yours?
Like, can I tell you something,
it's actually
dude?
more a caramel, your skin, to be fair.
I can tell you something, mate. That baby blue is unfucking believable. Baby blue on this bod. Yeah. Oh God, save us. It was a dream. I thought I'd died and gone to heaven. They held up remarkably well.
Did they hold up?
Tom.
Oh, good. How did they dry?
They did. Oh, they dried nicely, mate. They dried nicely.
That's good. That's really good.
I saw some daggy Americans getting around in some really uncouth below the knee boardies that looked so wet.
Oh,
even half an hour after they'd hopped out, I'm like,
soaking
Jesus
wet ankle
Christ.
swingers.
Just wetness, absolute wetness. Whereas I was dry, like really dry,
quick dry.
Like quick dry. I don't know. It was crazy. Anyway, they were sick boardies I was wearing.
Oh, that's really cool.
Have you seen them before? Have I showed you them before?
Dude, I don't know. But for some reason, I feel like there was a shirt that I saw you in, and I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. A button-up shirt.
Oh, that cool shirt I've got?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool shirt.
No, it seemed like it was really cool.
I might take some photos of it later. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a
whatever.
Cool shirt,
Whatever. It's a great.
Oh, mate, if the mood strikes, you know what I mean? Maybe I will.
Yeah. Have you washed that shirt?
I haven't watched it yet. No.
I'd like to see how it looks after you wash it. Not that it has anything to do with anything.
No, it doesn't. It's got nothing to do with anything. But I will obviously wash it at some point, Tom. Obviously, like I know, like the punter knows, like the dribbler knows. Washing on holiday is one of the great cunts all time.
Yeah.
But I'll find a way. Life finds a way. Eddy will find a way to wash. Know that.
Now, there's a bit of sport to get into, but before we do this,
But nice hat. Nice hat.
Thank you so much. And nice boardies. I can't see the boardies, but nice boardies.
Nice hat.
Thank you, dude. So nice. That's so
Like
sweet.
that hat, dude.
Dude, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Nice.
Fuck, I'd like to get one of those hats, dude.
Yeah, well, man, I get it. Just fucking, I totally get it. I'd like to get some of those boardies, whatever. It's really cool boardies, and a fucking good hat. Before we get into the sport, I am, and this is a bit more Thursday potty, and I'm not going to get into it too hard, but I had to get into it with a little bit with you.
Yep.
Talk sport. You know about Randall, Carlson, and fucking Graham Hancock, who are on the Rogan podcast. We talked Rogan and last Thursday, I think, or Friday, whatever it was, where it's like, do you hear about that giant ape that was on Rogan? And then one Google, you're like, oh, it was just an ape.
The Billy ape that was just a fucking giant chimp.
Just a chimp that it was like a fucking, like, there are big humans. It doesn't mean it's a different type of human.
Yeah, and also the range of humans is staggering. You get like the mountain, and then you can have a small person.
Exactly.
So
big
fact
difference. That you get like an ape that's big, it's like, well, yeah, that just might be an ape with some good genes. Anyway, I was saying at some point, I was like, just how horny I get for like ancient history, but I don't articulate it very well because I'm a dum-dum. Randall, Carlson, Graham Hancock. We're on Rogan again. They're close to my favorite podcast ever, but that they're talking about the a cataclysmic asteroidal impact during like the end of the last ice age, the Younger Dryas. Younger Dryas, whatever the fuck it is. And the podcast was incredible. And they're talking about the fact they think an advanced civilization, not advanced in the sense of like, flying to the moon, not us advanced, not talk to you while you're in Hawaii advanced, but a much more advanced civilization that was basically just wiped from the face of the earth. And all these massive structures are just evidence of it. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know if you listened to the podcast since you've been traveling.
I haven't.
Bruh.
I haven't, but I will.
It's more of a recommendation. This is all this is. Listen to the podcast with Rogan. It's so fucking good. Graham Hancock, Randall Carlson. Then also there's a show on Netflix called Ancient Apocalypse. That show isn't as, like, the documentary isn't as good. What they're talking about is good, but it's a bit sort of over-dramatized where I'm like, you don't need to make this all like, ooh, you can just fucking...
Yeah, I know. It was the same with the Bob Lazar documentary.
Just give me the facts.
Like, it's like, leave that shit outside, please,
you're
bro.
making this shit too emotional.
Let's talk brass facts here.
Yes.
I don't need it. It makes it look cheap and nasty and conspiratorial, and it makes it look like bullshit, I'm sorry to say.
Does. It makes it hard to sell at the markets. So there's a place...
You fucking walk into HBO and go, let's make this look legit. Talk to some real fucking people that have some real skills, because it's bush league what you're doing.
Now, there is this place in Indonesia, and I can't remember it, Dave. Just try and find it, called like Padung Gung or something, and I'm going to fuck that up. But just type in like Indonesian megalith. And it's this place on a hill that was long thought to just be like a naturally occurring thing, and then they've done LiDAR, I believe, which is like something radioactive.
Yeah, LiDAR is when they can strip back the fucking forest and see beneath.
And this thing underneath all of the grass and shit that they thought was just this hill is like one of the most incredible constructions you've ever seen, sitting in like a rainforest. And then underneath it, inside it, there are these 3 chambers that have never been fucking accessed or gone into. And the dating is from like... Because what happens is when they build these things, and then every time they build on top of it, like to make, repairs and everything, when they carbon date it, it seems like it was made less and less and less time ago, if that makes sense.
Yep. Yeah.
But so if you go... Yeah, I think it's the middle one. Gurung Parang. Can you see this shit, Edward?
Nah, he can't.
I can't see David.
Okay. So it's called Gunung, Gunung Padang, Gunung Padang. And just that there are these 3 chambers that have never been accessed in there, and they're like, if this fucking place is as old as they say it is, then, you know, there's potentially, like, who the hell knows what sort of information could be in there.
Can they get in there?
Well, no one's tried, because the problem is that with, like, your Randall, Carlson, Graham Hancocks, is that what they're challenging is the conventional wisdom of, like, archaeologists who don't think that what they're saying has any merit. Now, obviously, that could be the case, but I choose to 100% put all of my eggs into there was an ancient civilization wiped out by an apocalypse. And I'm doing that off no research at all, just very compelling podcasts and an all right show.
Yeah, you're doing it off the back of some great yarners.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be the first time that people have followed great yarners, Tom.
Yes. But I think the reason why is they're saying, like, before the pyramids and shit were made, that, like, they were just hunter-gatherers. And then out of nowhere, they've just started to make these humongous fucking structures, although there is nothing to show any, like, development of these skills that led to them being able to build these things. So these incredible monuments. It's like, how the fuck did that happen? And they're saying that there was no, there was no intelligent, or there was no technical capability to build anything like the pyramids pre-6,000 years. But then there's Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, which is like 12,000 fucking years old and is insane. But I'm just wanting this question, and I don't know if any of you know, and again, no research on my part. Has there ever been a really substantial or reasonable explanation of how the pyramids were built? Or is it just that, like, slaves dragged those stones?
They weren't slaves. They were like,
right. Okay, really motivated people.
Well, that's what they say. Apparently, it's a myth that they were slaves. I don't know enough to fucking go any further.
Their vocation not important to me. Humans just dragging him and lifting him up there. Is that what you leave?
Mate, I don't think they know.
Right.
I think that's the long and the fucking short of it, is they don't know. The thing is, you're talking about dates that are so fucking long ago, and with such limited information, a lot of it is just going, you just shrug your shoulders and go, fucked if I know.
But, like, they're saying that, it's it was
like, we could build them. We just don't know how they built them.
Yeah, well, no, we could build them. We could build them.
People imply they're like, oh, we don't know how to build them. It's like, bruh.
No, we can build them. No, we can build them. I don't think there's any doubt in that. Like, we could do it. But, like, I mean, you know, I wonder if
because they don't.
Lazy fucking builders and shit, like, how long it would take to build. You know what I mean? You know, like, a lot of times at a job site, so there's a lot of sitting around, looking busy. I was the king of that when I was labouring. Oh, I'm sweeping over here. I'm sweeping over there. How long do you think it would take to build?
Well, how long did it take, Dave?
Which one? The pyramids?
To build them?
Yeah.
The Great Pyramid of Giza, how long did it take?
I'll find out. I was just looking up because I don't know if you guys were aware, but the 10th biggest pyramid in the world is in Memphis, Tennessee, and it's a Bass Pro Shop, like a fishing shop. So it has been built in modern times.
Well, there you go.
And that took about 2 years to build. But
I bet it's made out of gyprock as well. I bet those
and it's bass, as in, like, fishing. That's unbelievable.
Like a fishing pro shop.
I bet you that won't be here in 6,000 years.
Probably not.
Probably
won't be here in 6 years.
The Pyramid of Giza, it took around 100,000 men around 20 years to build. Although now scholars are thinking it could have only been 20,000 men, but still 20 years.
We don't build things at that sort of. I'm Stroby. We don't build things.
You wanna dance, baby?
Baby.
We're back. Technical issues. Anyway, check out fucking Graham Hancock, Randall Carlson on Rogan, and also Ancient Apocalypse on Netflix. There's some cool shit throughout all of the episodes. Bit over dramatized, but some very crazy places around the world where you're like, what the fuck is that, and who the fuck built that? But I think we should probably talk some sport, Edward.
Let's do it, brah.
When we talk cricket on the show, we do it thanks to our good friends at KO. The Cricket World Cup is over, the T20 Cricket World Cup, and our worst fears have been realised. The stinky fucking Poms got the job done in what ended up being a pretty close game. I'm sure that you stopped whatever you were doing over in Hawaii to make sure that you watched every single ball, Edward. Is that fair to say?
I watched every single ball, buddy. Every single ball.
Do you have a favourite ball, a ball that, you know, really got your attention?
Mate, not one off the top of the dome,
Yeah.
not one that's coming to mind. All the balls were just so delicious that it's hard to sort of fucking pick one singular ball.
There was a...
to top all the balls.
Yeah, I could tell you a
that
ball. I could tell you a ball that was good. Shahid Afridi getting out Alex Hales was... Now, I didn't pay a shitload of attention to the England innings, but Shahid Afridi to Alex Hales was fucking horny. And he also has one of the great...
Was that first over?
Yes. Or, it was certainly the first wicket of the thing. I don't know if it was first over or what, but it was fucking delicious. I don't know if his hair is real. It is. Just Google Shahid Afridi on your phone, Eddy. I don't... It is a gorgeous head of hair. A fleck of blonde in there. Like, I've never seen blonde hair on a Pakistani person. And it just looks sexual. That's fake, dude. Sorry. I know I'm not in the business here of outing hair, but it seems like there's something. Look at that head of hair.
Oh, it's nice. I think it's certain. I think he's put a wash through there, Tom.
Yeah, I think the hair's real.
I think he's
not.
No, the hair's definitely real. I think he's put a wash through that. I spy a wash, as it were.
With your little
for
eye.
sure. Yeah, my little eye spies a wash. But power to him. That's fucking hair that you can rely on. Jesus Christ, that's the hair that'll get you out of a pickle.
You could set your watch to that hair.
100% you could. Did he have to go off injured? Did I read that correctly?
Yeah, he did. He did something to his knee. I'm not sure if he came into the game with an injury as well, but...
Well, I remember them saying he had troubles with his knee before, but I think he was fine going into the game, and then when he took that catch, that did
something
his knee.
happened,
Yeah.
But it got down to it, and then he was coming in, practicing his run-up as he was coming into bowl, and he kept pulling out of it as he was about to bowl the ball, and they were like, nah, dude, we're not fucking running this risk. As it turned out, they lost anyway. But it was pretty close in the end.
I feel like that made all the difference because he bowled like one ball of what would have been his third over, and he was looking good and going for like not many runs, and then they had to get the part-time offie to finish his over.
And he got pumped.
And then he got pumped, yeah.
And he got spanked. Yeah.
Ben Stokes as well now.
Fucking Ben Stokes, dude.
mean,
Ben Stokes just loves the
seriously.
big moment, bro.
He loves the big. It's his
loves
first ever. It's his first ever T20 50.
Really?
Which to me was fucking ridiculous. Like that's what they were saying. Now, I mean, maybe it was his first
That's shocking to me.
First ever World Cup 50, maybe. But either like
First ever T20 50 is fucking outrageous.
Well, that would seem kind of weird, wouldn't it, if you're in the T20 side and you've never hit a 50, and like they've been going for a while, but just to pull it out and not out, hit the winning runs. He did it to us against in the Ashes. Not that us being Australia, but in this sense, I think we were all Pakistan last night.
Wow, no, first ever T20, not just World Cup.
That's bizarre.
That's bizarre. I mean, it pains me to say it, Tom, but it's got to be said. They now hold both World Cups.
Yep, first team to do it as well.
Which is fucking scat.
First men's team to do it. Yeah, it's scat. It's very scat.
It's so scat, mate.
Yeah, they don't hold the Ashes though, Eddy, and that's about all we can take. 'Cause if they held the Ashes as well as the two World Cups, then that would be tough. But we are going over there to take them on, so that's,
Well, they don't hold the Ashes, mate. It's as simple as that. Obviously, we take them on this June, July, if my memory serves me.
Yep.
The June, July coming. Tom and I really angling to get over there and cover it in earnest.
Oh, yeah. Sincere.
On behalf of our good friends, KO.
Yes. Shout out to KO. Honestly, if I could like take a company but if the company was embodied by a human, like out to a dinner and really romance them under a moonlight, bit of swing dancing, bit of just passionate kissing under the moon. You know what I mean? in order to get over to England to watch the Ashes, I'd do that with KO. Does that make sense?
I definitely do it. I do that with KO. I feel like I could show KO a really good time.
Yeah. Multiples.
You know
what I mean?
Wine them, dine them, 69 them.
Multiple orgasms.
Well, I'm talking 3, 4, 5. You choose.
Yes. You pick the number
the
of
world's
orgasms.
your oyster.
How many orgasms you
You
want?
pick the number. And I'll make it happen with me old mate Tommy Burns.
Yeah.
That's our promise to you, KO. Should you allow us to cover the Ashes next year in earnest?
From
multiples.
England. Yeah, from England.
Multiples. Oh, live, Tom.
Yeah, no, send us
live.
I don't want to do it from here.
Live? Fucking hell. I'm not doing it from Australia.
No.
No. You got to be over there. You got to feel it, taste it.
Rub your hands
drink
on the
it
grass.
But I will remind England, Tom, I think it's my duty as an Australian to remind them that this victory counts for fuck all when the red ball starts fucking moving around, baby. We don't... It means absolutely nothing. Just so that they know that. Just so that they know that. The history in the Ashes of the last 30 years has been fucking appalling, bar for a couple of small blips.
Yeah.
So just remember that.
Now that the T20's over, it's fair to say to England, now that it's over and that England won it, I'm happy to sit here and say that the World Cup doesn't mean shit.
It means absolutely nothing, Tom. And I didn't want to admit it going in because I didn't want it to sort of detract from the event.
Well, I think going in it meant a lot because we were world champions. In fact, it was probably the most prestigious tournament in the world.
Well, it stopped meaning. What I mean by that is it stopped meaning a goddamn thing the moment we didn't make the fucking semi-finals.
Correct. It ceased to have meaning.
In some ways, it sort of lost all its meaning when we got humped into the earth by New Zealand in the first match.
You know what?
After that, it was like,
I mean, our good friends at KO did broadcast the entire thing, so I will say that it probably had meaning right up until Ben Stokes hit the winning runs for England last night. I was involved. The second Ben Stokes hit the winning runs, the tournament ceased to have any meaning, ceased to have any prestige. Fuck it all. Fuck it all.
Yeah, it became meaningless in a moment.
Meaningless in a moment. What tournament? Pajama cricket. Boo.
Boo. And you couldn't get more ungracious victors.
Nah, fuck 'em. They're ungracious bastards. Shout out to our English listeners.
No. I must be clear in what I'm saying here, Tom. We love our English listeners. We love the English. We just don't like your cricket side.
No, or your rugby side. Or your rugby league side, who lost to Samoa in one of the great turns of events.
We don't like any of your sides, is basically what we're saying.
Yeah.
I hope you're cool with that.
I hope you're cool with that.
Because, if you don't like our sides, that's cool. But at least we can all come together at the pub and sing Kumbaya and fucking, wet the whistle together.
I wonder who's more hated internationally. Let's say just from a cricket thing. Like, if England and Australia are playing, who's the world rallying behind?
I think people hate us.
Oh, you reckon they hate us more?
Yeah, I think
than
so.
the English? The colonisers?
Because, Tom, you got to remember that when you fucking hump the rest of the world into a stupor, into a stew for, 30 years, you get a bit of a fucking reputation.
Yeah. That's true. Reach out if you are not Australian or English and let us know who you hate more in a cricketing sense.
Yeah, cricketing.
But again, shout out to KO, who we will
Thank you, KO.
give
We love you.
multiple orgasms to should you send us to London, to England for the cricket.
Yes.
But
we'll
be based
obviously we'll be warmly embraced over there, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Did you hear about Glenn Maxwell?
No, what was I heard in a chat?
What's he done? What's he done? Something happened at a party?
Yeah, so he was at a 50-year-old, like a 50th birthday party, and from what I read, he was apparently like racing or running along a tennis court with one of his mates. They both tripped over, got tangled up, and Maxwell broke his leg and will now miss the whole summer.
Oh, fuck. I did miss that. He broke
I saw that he
leg.
had an accident. I didn't know he broke his fucking leg.
Now, touch wood, I haven't broken my leg. I've broken bones before. I haven't broken a leg. like, what have you got to do to be running along a tennis court and break your fucking leg, dude? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, from just running?
It doesn't, it sounds like a very odd accident, to be honest. Like, what, you run along and you get tangled up and your leg breaks? I've never heard of that in my life.
Just trying to find some wood to touch. I'm not very superstitious, but I'm slightly superstitious.
I've got my hand on a wooden table, and that's what I'm touching at the moment.
It says here, neither were intoxicated, and the other person is not believed to have sustained an injury.
Neither were intoxicated. Bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm buying that.
Bullshit. And hey, shout out to Show. No knock on the Show, but that's got to be a lie.
Not here to knock the show. Show's a good guy.
Show's a good
It's
guy.
not about that.
But that's
just about. Listen, I can smell a porky a mile away, and that's fucking porked up.
That's all pork, dude.
That's all pork, mate. That's 100% pork. That's Aussie pork.
That's Aussie pork, Porky
100%.
the pig.
That's Aussie pork. Put some pork on your fork, right there.
Put some pork on your fork, pork. Not
Mate.
drunk.
Show has got so much pork on his fork.
Yeah, I'd like to get some core samples of his stool to check if there's any booze in there. Surely we'd be able to test that, couldn't we?
I think well, I don't know, Tom. I'm not classically trained in that way, but if I was to
Air
put
test
the
it?
finger into the sky, I think you could.
I think you could core sample a stool sample.
Even doing this. Yeah, there's alcohol there.
No, there's
Oh,
booze.
fuck
yeah,
yeah.
I know, I can feel
Is
it.
there? Yeah, the guy was off his head.
No, yeah, he was off his guts. He was off his guts.
Show's off his guts. No offense to you, Show, but you're off your head.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know
If
that
you
for
weren't,
sure.
I actually think it'd be more embarrassing though if you weren't.
I'm just finger to the sky in that bitch. So sorry for you, mate, but you didn't pass the finger test. Sorry.
Sorry, mate.
I don't know what you want to do about it, but you didn't pass.
Jesus
Sorry,
Christ, dude. Broken leg for Show. And recover soon, bro. Hope you're well. Well,
Of course,
within reason.
mate. Of course. Australia has made another rugby league final, Tom.
Yes.
World Cup final.
Yeah.
Obviously, we hold on against the Kiwis.
Yeah. Yeah, there's an argument to be made the Kiwis just should have won that game. It felt like that was... Imagine New Zealand Samoa in the final. That would have been pretty hectic.
Oh, it would have been horny work.
Unfortunately,
but
Australia's
I don't care for that, Tom.
No, nor do I.
I care for Australian dominance, my friend.
16-14.
Tight. Real tight.
Real tight.
Did we score last?
Yeah, we did. You're fucking
Yeah.
peaking again, bud.
No, I'm not.
Well, it sounds like it's getting distorted on my end.
Mate, I'm sober.
I think that might just
I put it down to 5.
There you go. Yeah, we were the last to score. Cam Murray. Dude, the try Josh had at car score was fucking hectic. Yeah, close game. I thought it would have been a bit more dominant, but
Well, I predicted a humping, but unfortunately not. A lot of dribblers out there saying that if Cherry Evans was playing, he would have iced the game.
I don't want to say that's right or wrong. Look, Cherry's a dear friend. Do I choose to say that he might be? He might have. Yeah, maybe. I mean, the guy, maybe he would. Maybe he would. I don't know.
I'm just regurgitating the words of the punter and of the dribbler, Tom.
Yeah.
That's all I'm doing.
If we were just,
not my words.
they're not our words, and it's not saying that if you're a dribbler and you say something that we'll just repeat it, because that's not the way it goes.
No, it's not.
But I mean, if Cherry Evans was there, would we fucking dominate it? I don't know. I don't know.
Well, it's hard to say.
It's hard to
but-
say. Obviously, him and Cameron Munster have an origin. Like,
Look, it's hard to say, but
obviously,
maybe
yeah,
we would have. You know what I mean?
Maybe we would have. Maybe.
Maybe we would have.
Maybe
Hard
we
to
would've.
say, but maybe we would have. That's all I'm saying.
Look, it is difficult to say. Maybe we would have.
It's definitely difficult to say. At the end of the day, we did win, though. So
Yeah,
Nathan
no, we
off
did.
The hook.
Nath off the hook, we did win. But if we had Cherry Evans, I mean, I don't know how the fuck it would have gone. I tell you what, I tell you what, I don't know how it would have gone.
No, well, you don't know for sure, Tom, because he wasn't playing. Shout out to those stupid numbers for confusing everyone up until fucking game time.
Dude, it's so stupid. There is, and what I realize is it's only Australia doing it, right? No other. I thought that it was a World Cup thing.
That's what gave me the shits, Tom.
Yeah.
Is because I thought everyone was doing it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this is a stupid English World Cup thing. Nah, it's not. It's a stupid Australia thing.
I hope and I mean this sincerely, that whoever came up with that idea knows how much we all fucking hate it and knows how stupid it is now. Like, can see how fucking dumb it is. Because nothing about it is redeeming in a single way. And if I was an Australian player, like if I'm Angus Crichton, I got to go out and play in 17 every time. It's like, if I never play for Australia again, I'm not going to have a single starting jersey.
Mate, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. AC should be in that 11 or that 12 or whatever side he's playing on, and it should be the end of the discussion. Whoever came up with that idea should be taken out the back, and I'm sorry to say it, they should be whipped.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. It's a whippable offence, in my opinion. Absolutely whippable.
Cat of nine tails.
Now, 100%. Now, you could argue potentially, the only argument that I'll hear that I'll allow, Tom, is that potentially they wanted to wool pull, as in like, you make sense of this squad and you try and put people where you think they'll play. But I'm not going to tell you where they're going to play because they're not wearing the right numbers. Maybe that's the approach. But to that, I'd say Australia are the motherfuckers.
There's
we
no
need
way
to act like the motherfuckers. Why are we wool pulling?
We don't need a wool pull.
We don't need to wool pull. We just go out there and we dominate.
I think
That's
also
what we do.
everyone knows that Angus Crichton's probably playing in the back row. Do you know what I mean? Munster's probably playing at 5'8", even though he's wearing a fucking 7 on his back.
Yeah, listen, Munster's probably playing 5'8". Ben Hunt probably playing 9.
And Harry Grant off the bench. And if I'm incorrect there, then just flip him.
Yeah, Addo Carr
Probably on the wing. Yeah. I don't
Can't
think
say
I
for
don't
sure,
think it's
but-
wool pull. I don't think it's wool pull. I think it's
Helmet probably in the centres.
Yeah.
I'm hearing you now, Tom. So it's basically just a stupid decision, a Whipple decision.
stupid
and
marketing, dumb fucking decision.
Just dumb.
Dumb. So dumb.
Good to see Samoa get the chockies, though.
Yeah, dude. I watched that whole game. It was sick.
Stephen Crichton's got a bit about him.
Mate, I honestly, that's one of the best games I've seen in a very long time. It was the best game of the tournament without a shadow of a doubt.
Well, the tournament's come alive, Tom.
Mate, it was back and forth. Obviously, the cherry on top is that the home side in England lose and are knocked out, and Samoa, who got absolutely fucking humped by him 60-6, I think, started the tournament, has come back to make the final.
Very impressive.
But dude, it was some good footy. Jerome Luai, obviously the father of England now, the new king of England. He played very well. I thought Stephen Crichton probably should have got man of the match, but I guess not.
Luai got it.
Luai got it. He got 3 try assists. I think he was pretty.
He played well.
He played very well.
That intercept by Crichton in the 72nd minute was.
He's starting to make a name for himself.
Was as arsey as you're likely to see. That was so fucking arsey, dude. I loved it.
Yeah, it was good.
Like,
but also his drop goal. Is he a left or right-footed kicker? I'm assuming he must be a left-footed kicker if he's standing in position on the left. But his drop goal was delicious.
Yeah, it was nice. It was very nice.
Yeah, he is.
Anthony Milford missed that first one. They went deep out the back, and he was just like, bruh, leave it to me.
Yeah. Come to
Not
me
a
next
problem.
time. No one's expecting
Sam
this.
Williams in like the 77th minute when he went through the line and Herbie Farnwell scored George Williams was fucking clutch.
Dude, that play from George Williams was so sick. And then
So
to get
clutch.
to Herbie and go, you're like, oh my God, dude. I was watching it after already knowing the result, so I was like, but if I was watching that game live, I would have been in a puddle. Seriously.
Herbie Farnworth he had a bit about him in that game. That try score when he just bunted off 15 blokes and then flips out of it was pretty cool.
Dude, that was like, it was better individually than his second one. It was, the team needed it, they were down, and he's just, I think it leveled the scores, and then they scored again.
Wow, the kick did. I think it was
he went 63 minutes.
Maybe I'm getting confused with his second try.
So I think he leveled. He scored the try, then the conversion leveled it, and then Stephen Crichton scored, and that put him ahead. Then Farnworth scored again, that leveled it. Then Stephen Crichton hit the drop goal, I believe. But to level the scores when they were down, they needed 2 scores, I think, to get back into shooting range, and that try was like just all toughness. Herbie got a bit about him. I think he wants to try and play fullback for the Broncos, which is going to be tough with old Reece Walsh. But that I think is like he's like, no, I want fullback.
Herbie's been growing on me. Herbie's been growing on me over the years. He's turning into quite the footballer.
Yep.
But I mean, if you've got eyes for that one jersey, bro, you've got quite the footballer ahead of you. I'm sorry to say.
I got a question.
Yeah, mate.
Is Herbie a
Yep.
children's show, or is that Brum?
Well, Broom
Or Brum, depending on where you're from in the world.
Broom was a little yellow car that went out and fucking solved crimes and shit, dude.
Yeah.
Herbie was the
One
movie.
of the great shows all time.
Oh, Brum. Shout out to Brum. Oh, but Herbie is a show.
No, it was a movie.
Was Herbie in the show?
What's Herbie, Dave?
Herbie was a movie also about a car.
Okay.
Herbie
fully
was a little
loaded.
Volkswagen.
Yeah.
Not the same as Broom.
No.
Broom was all class,
Brum
dude. And all
fucks,
guts
dude.
and
Can you get up Brum, Dave?
I've never heard of Broom.
No,
before.
well, you wouldn't have, mate. You fucking still in creche. There's no way you'd heard of it. It was very much.
This dude. I've seen this dude before.
I can't see
The
it.
yellow one, right?
Yeah, the little yellow Brum.
Yeah. Oh,
That's what I
Brum.
said, bro.
Brum,
Not
Brum.
Broom.
No, it's not Broom. It's
Well, I
Brum.
was looking up Broom.
Brum.
Brum.
I used to call him Broom.
I don't know. I mean, Brum. I think you could. I think
We had an
that's-
old work unit on the farm that was called Broom as well, so it just worked.
Yeah. Shout out to Tobler, who's going to have to put all this shit into the podcast.
Good for you, Tobler. Good for you, bruh.
But yeah, dude, Australia Samoa World Cup final.
Is that this week?
Yeah,
this
next
weekend
it'll be on
coming?
the weekend. Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. We love it.
Whilst
Australia's going to be too strong, but I think it might be closer than we expect.
Can I get Eddie back on screen, please,
yeah.
Dior? Yeah, I mean, you would assume that Australia get to humping, but you know, who knows? Who knows?
Mate, if we get upset by Samoa, that will be fucking biblical.
You know what? It'd be the only silver lining to a World Cup loss would be to have Samoa. Like, I wouldn't be all that disappointed. You'd be like, this is awesome.
It's an old rugby league cliche, Tom, but it'd be good for the game.
Oh, it'd be good for the game, Eddie. It'd be good for the game. You know what's not good for the game? Sorry, you go.
Sometimes you got to put the game first. Now, I'm not suggesting for a moment that I want to put the game first and have Samoa beat Australia, but if it was to happen, then I would happily champion that I was for putting the game first and that Samoa deserved to win.
Listen, you and I are big concept first guys. We are with Origin. We wanted the concept to work. So even though we were gutted that Queensland won, the concept may have suffered was New South Wales to just hump again.
That's right.
The
It's all
rugby-
about the concept.
The Rugby League World Cup, obviously the concept has been criticised because of some of the score lines. If Samoa were to win, that's very pro-concept. We're pro-concept.
We love the concept.
Love the concept. And it's good for the
We're
concept.
concept guys.
Question. If Samoa win, I believe, and I only believe because I saw someone in the P's and D's set, so it's probably wrong, but they become a Tier 1 nation. Is that true? And if it is, what happens to all of our Samoan throbbers who play State of Origin?
Listen. I think there'd be some people at NRL headquarters starting to feel a little bit uncomfortable at the prospect that, well, either A, they become a Tier 1 nation, which has big State of Origin problems, or B, they're not moved to a Tier 1 nation, which would be fucking ludicrous if they'd won the World Cup.
I mean, it's kind of ludicrous to be in the World Cup final and not be a Tier 1 nation.
Yeah, but if you win it and you beat Australia, then it is completely and utterly fucking absurd.
Yes.
And now you've got huge Origin problems. What they'll do, Tom, and I think this will be the reality, and it's probably going to come around sooner rather than later, is they're just going to go, you can play for whoever you want.
Yeah,
It's the solution.
I think it is a solution. Like, the more this whole thing's played out, it's like Origin eligibility still is a thing, right? Where it's like If you
Oh
got
no, you still have to meet
the criteria of being in New South Wales pre-13 or whatever.
I think it's even younger than that now.
Nah, I think it's 13 or like
Is it
14 or
13?
something. Yeah, but like that's the criteria. But then international separate. Do whatever the fuck you want.
Mate, it makes for a better World Cup. It makes things more interesting. We don't play a heap of internationals anyway, so I really don't see a big problem.
And
with
then
it
when
at all.
everyone's going
I
like,
just don't.
I've now come to the conclusion, Eddie, potentially mere seconds ago, that like, you know how there's an argument of like, well, like, what's it going to do for the international, like for the Australian side, if it's not all Australians in Origin and it's like a genuine selection for international? That's what shit. I was going,
We'll be just
fucking
fine.
who cares? We'll be fine.
We'll be just fine.
We'll be
Have
fine.
a look at us. Have a look at us. We're in the World Cup final already. We're going to win the fucking goddamn thing most likely. Obviously, it's not a fait accompli, but it's looking like we will. Like, we're fine, bro. We've got fucking cattle coming out the wazoo. We'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah.
We've also got those Indigenous boys who
Exactly,
are
dude.
fucking
Trell.
unbelievable. So
Trell,
I think
Joshy Carr,
I think we'll be
Jackie Boy White, and we're
Let's
good,
show
bruh.
me. I think we'll be sweet, dude. I think we'll be just fine.
Yep. So fuck it. Let them play.
Let them play. Let the boys play would be my opinion.
Now, do you want
Look at it? It's already made it a better World Cup as it is, right?
Exactly.
Otherwise, it's just us beating everyone fucking 100.
Well, think about how many of those guys wouldn't have played. Because that, like, your Luai, who maybe wants to play Origin, it's like, well, you probably won't get picked for Australia. Joseph Suaalii, he might have got picked for Australia, but maybe he wouldn't have.
Probably not.
There's a few of those examples where you're like, it makes it better to have more throbbers playing. Look at Victor Radley. He's had to go play for fucking England for fuck's sake, and he's done a good job.
Mate, you just got more throbbers out there. I think it's great.
Exactly.
I don't see a big deal with it at all. And when we win, it'll just be proof that Australia. Maybe we do need to get handicapped a little bit because fucking hell.
Yeah, we're playing with
if
an
we
extra
could just
leg.
if we had the entire pick of like all the Pacific Nation boys as well, like Jesus, like
Yeah, thanks for
you
coming.
may as well not have it.
Junior Polo, like, would be good.
Yeah, Brian Toto, mate, would be fine.
Now, speaking of not fine, an Australian side not doing well, not that it's a turn to negative town, but it is. We lost to Italy for the first time in the weekend in the Rugby Union.
Not great, is it?
Now, did I know the game was on?
I knew that we were on tour. I
Yes,
knew
I
that
knew
we
we were on
beat
tour.
Scotland by a point. I knew that we lost to France by a point. But to lose to Italy is...
By a point as well.
Well, there's a theme there. Is pretty lowbrow, Tom. I don't think there's any other way to spin it other to say that it's for the Wallabies of two-time World Cup champions fame, of used to be
Powerhouse.
the game's superpower, to lose to Italy now.
Who's a former
Listen.
global superpower from a political standpoint who is no longer a superpower globally?
England.
America.
Oh, like not a superpower at all.
America?
Heading that way.
David.
Well, England
America's
was the
still
superpower.
a superpower.
Oh,
David.
guys like the Netherlands and like Spain, like the Dutch East India Company, which was like the biggest company in the world. when
Yeah,
they were
Spain's a good
colonising
one.
everywhere, yeah.
Spain's a good one.
So we're now like Spain.
Mm,
Are we Spain?
Or Rome.
yeah.
I mean, think about and Greece. Think
Yeah.
about their big
Yeah.
civilizations.
Yep.
Mate, there's plenty that have fallen off the fucking wagon.
Especially if you
As
go
it
back
were.
as far as the
Egyptians.
last ice age,
Yeah.
the global
The
cataclysm.
Egyptians, they're in trouble
Yeah.
from a superpower to no longer a superpower perspective.
Well, that's what we're like from a Wallabies
Um,
perspective.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Look, that's the bow we're drawing, Tom.
Yeah. Now, do you want to
That's the bow
hear
we're
of
drawing.
one of the worst? And I feel sorry for this person. I don't know their name, so I won't be able to. I'm not like trying to roast them, but in terms of like, nightmare debut scenario. Well, what could have been the best debut ever? A young fella picked on the bench for the Wallabies. I think his whole fucking family flew over and shit, as you would expect. It might. Let me see that bench. Do I know who it is? Keep going down. I've got no idea who it was. I believe he was brought on late in the game and he had a kick to win it for Australia from a very kickable position.
Ben Donaldson.
Sorry, Ben. Family there. debut for the Wallabies, kick at the goal. This is what you practice. This is what you dream about in the backyard.
This is my moment.
This is your moment for your nation, against a fucking loser in rugby terms country in Italy. We've never lost to them. Here's your moment, son. Step up and slot this bitch.
For your nation.
For your nation. And
For your people.
He misses it. He misses it. I think he sprayed it
Listen,
wide.
this isn't about Ben Donaldson. This isn't about him. It's not.
Well,
we're not here to hang shit on Ben Donaldson.
Technically, it is about him, and I don't mean that.
Well, you know.
It's not about him?
The loss isn't about him.
No, it's
we're
not.
Merely pointing out that Ben Donaldson got the whole fam over there.
That's a tough.
On his debut,
That's tough.
a
Dude.
kick to win it. The one he practices in the backyard as a boy, as a young whippersnapper who
on his
dared
good
to dream,
side
who
from a
dared to win
kicking
goal,
perspective.
and he butchers it. Now, it's not about Ben.
It's not.
And I'm not sitting here telling you that if Ben slots that goal, we win the match and
Well,
we
no, I
face
think technically we do. Like literally.
and we avoid humiliation. I'm not here to say that. But there are people, Tom, out there that are saying
Listen,
that.
what
I'm
I'd
not
say
one
is
of them.
this as well. Congrats on making the debut for your country. Something that we
Well
haven't
done, mate. Well
You
done,
know what?
young man. That's
You've
terrific.
made a debut for your nation, and that is humongous. And unfortunately, it didn't go the way you wanted to, but you've debuted for your country, and that's huge. So congratulations to you there, Ben Donaldson. But, fuck, that's a tough debut.
Well done, young man.
But that's tough.
Well done.
We're
That's
not blaming you, but that's tough.
I'm not blaming you, mate.
You can't be
But it's
blaming
tough.
him. The whole
No,
team.
I'm not blaming him, Tom.
The fucking he was a
Tom.
bench player. You know what I mean? His
Tom, I'm
fucking-
not blaming him.
His teammates
Tom,
let it get to this
mate.
point where he had to kick for the win.
There's 75 plus minutes of rugby union football that should have been fucking conquered before that moment.
Yeah.
It's not on Ben. It just so happened that it fell to Ben.
Yes.
And that Ben wasn't up to it. Listen,
Hey,
it is what it is.
that's it.
It is what it is.
Now, we move on from the Waller boys. Did you watch any of the UFC yesterday? On one of the best fucking cards I've ever seen.
Mate, I was out on the piss, so no, I didn't watch any of it.
Well, holy shitballs. It was, they either tied or broke the record for the most first round finishes in a UFC card ever.
Mm.
And there were some, can we get the card up? Just the main event card. I was just shelving this stuff all afternoon long. I need you to go.
In heaven were you, bro?
Dude, heaven. That's only the top 3 fights. I need to go more fights, please. Where do we start? The card. Dan Hooker, he got a win in one of the weirdest fucking fights I've ever seen. He was fighting a guy who was clearly more jiu-jitsu dominant, but the guy just kept fucking falling to the ground to try and, like, to be fair, he almost got him in the first round. Like, almost, he did a thing called like an Imanari roll. You know, where they just like roll at they almost like roll at your legs and just sort of tangle you up.
Yeah.
But he got out of that, and for the rest of the fight, this guy just kept dropping to the ground and like trying to do it again. But it was like really just bizarre. And then Dan Hooker's just kicked him so hard in the body a couple of times that he literally just like fell to the ground and couldn't do anything. Poor old Frankie Edgar, his last fight in New York.
Is that the end of Frankie?
Yeah, but it was always like he knew it was his last fight in New York. Whole family's out there. Got a bit of Ben Donaldson about him, this one.
Oh.
And fucking round 1, knee to the chin, just fucking out, dude. As stiff as a board.
Oh, Frankie. Frankie's had a good career, though.
Mate, he's had a good career. Former lightweight champion. He's 3 weight divisions. But he's taken some damage.
I'm actually surprised he's still fighting. He was around in like the Aldo, Mendez, even pre-McGregor.
Oh, pre that,
wasn't
dude.
he?
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. He won the lightweight title off BJ Penn.
Okay. So
he's been around
fucking
for a
old.
minute. And he got fucked up. Dustin Poirier, Michael Chandler.
Dustin won that, didn't he?
He did, but dude, it was a sick fight. Round 1, like Michael Chandler has lost, I think, 3 of his 5 fights in the UFC, but he puts on some absolute wars. Round 1 was crazy. They were both almost dead. And then in the second round, it was sort of a bit more of a wrestling bout, and then Dustin came out and choked him. But I was happy Dustin won. I'd like to see Dustin back in. I'd love to see Dustin win a title. Obviously, Alexander Volkanovski's going to win one,
I fucking love Dustin, dude.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Dustin.
Dustin's
the man.
I think it'd be good if Dustin got a full-blown, proper, not interim title.
Now, give him he needs a shot at the real McCoy.
Yeah, get him back there. But obviously, our man Volk.
He may need to get it off our boy.
Well, so he's not going to get it then because Volk's going to win it off Islam, and then we're good to go.
And then he'll just keep him, and he'll just fight up and down, up and down, up and down until he retires, having never been defeated whilst being the champion.
Dude, the only person that's ever beaten him was like a plumber from fucking Dapto.
Exactly.
And that just speaks to the plumbing stocks of this nation.
Oh, the plumbing stocks in this nation, we can go on about all day, Tom. I won't because I'm on my honeymoon, but I could if I wanted to.
What time
I
is
could
it
if
over there?
I wanted to. We will be there, though, punters and good dribblers, to watch Volk become a champ.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
No, we've already got ticks. Where are you right now? What time is it right now?
It's 1:48 p.m.
What's your morning look like? What have you done?
It's lunchtime.
What have you been doing all day? What time did you get up?
I got up at 8:45. I went and got a coffee at Starbucks. Not too bad. Went and got some inflatable things so we can go fucking lay around in the water out in the beach because it's flat.
Dude, you're fucking living.
I'm
Just
gonna
get some blow-up shit.
Yeah. And then I fucking laid in the sun, read a book, and I came up here. And I'm just going to be honest with the punter and the dribbler. I'm fucking peckish, just so you know.
Clubs? We got a clubby Sambo on the mind or what? What do you think?
Well, I got something on the mind. I don't know what it is,
Yeah,
but
right.
I'll be perusing the menu. Clubby's, listen here, Tom. Club's not off the menu. Put it that way.
No, club's undefeated. The women's strawweight fight was okay. Zhang Wei Li now champion again.
Good on Zhang.
She was always going to win.
Good on you, Zhang.
But
did she fucking submit a
round 2?
Did she submit it?
Yeah, round 2 submission.
Yeah.
But the main event, Israel Adesanya and Alex Pereira, and this is also what I went back on Volkanovski. Now, undisputed pound for pound fucking best in the world is Volkanovski, because I think the only other real conversation was around whether Adesanya is, considering how long he's been at the top. But Izzy had it was probably a round. I think it was like a round each after the first 2 rounds. But Izzy was essentially winning the whole fight. He was winning, and Pereira needed a knockout basically to wrap this thing up. And
he gets one in round 5.
Dude, in round 5, he gets one. And it's the third time they fought, and he just came out. He is terrifying, bro. He is... I don't know if you've seen the highlights, but, he is
I watched the highlights of that.
He is so powerful, it is not funny. When he hits you, and by you, I don't mean me, because I'm a pussy, but, when he's hitting... You could see, Israel was, quick and slick. So was Pereira, but it was the danger for Israel was just if Pereira touches you, bro, you are fucked.
You're in big trouble.
Yeah.
You're in fucking huge trouble. He at the end, the knockout, you're he's not aware of where the fuck he is. I know he was saying that he was lucid and shit in the post-match. I'm bruh, you weren't lucid at all.
No, you weren't.
If that ref let that go, you would have been killed in there, my friend.
I do like a bit of. I do somewhat. Obviously, brain health and just general well-being is important. There is a part of me that's if you're the champion, I do understand he might be hey, just let him knock me out. Just let him knock me out.
He was done.
I know he was done. I don't have an issue with the stoppage, but let him just knock me out on the ground. Let me be out and just have you bounce.
Oh, you go out on your sword, you reckon?
Yeah, on your shield, I think's the term, Eddie, but that's okay.
Well, listen, that's not the first time I got those wrong.
No. But they're probably going to do a rematch, and if they do,
probably they have to.
Yeah, but then if let's say Pereira wins again, right? You know who then's just waiting in the wings to come back and claim that title? Bobby Knox.
Bobby Knox, dude, that fucking video you shared, I'm Bobby's just sitting there going, fuck, I wish that was me.
Yeah, because I think Bobby Knox beats Pereira, takes him to the ground. Bobby Knox.
100%. This sets it up beautifully for the second coming of Bobby Knox.
Yeah.
Which is Look, I wouldn't hate having 2 champs at once.
I'd love it actually, personally.
I wouldn't hate that, Tom.
Nah, I'd be a big fan.
Sick.
You could, we'd have 3 champs at once because obviously Volk's going to be a double champ.
It's a great fucking point, my friend. It's a great point. And maybe Bam Bam just comes from the clouds and starts knocking cunts out. Maybe we've got 4. Maybe
4
we just have
champs.
every fucking division under the sun. I don't know.
Don't mind it. Don't
I
mind
wouldn't
it.
hate it, Tom. I wouldn't hate it, my bruh. I
Now,
wouldn't hate it.
I don't think there's anything else really to cover.
You sent me the thing about the Tigers Knights swap. Did you
Oh,
want to chat
yeah.
about that?
Clarkie's RL column reporting, and he may be reporting it from somewhere
Yeah,
else.
it's also being reported on Fox, and around other places, I assume.
The Tigers and the Knights looking to do a player swap, Clemmer for Jackson Hastings. I don't understand in what world you're letting Jackson Hastings go if you're the Tigers.
Well, the only thing I can think of with Jackson Hastings is the whispers you hear about him and how he fits.
I thought he was fitting quite well at the Tigers.
Well, then you
I
ask
haven't
yourself
heard any
why get rid
criticism
him.
of Jackson Hastings since he's been back.
Just because you're not hearing it doesn't mean that it's not happening, though.
Of course
because
not, but like, you know.
I look at it and I'm like, why the fuck would you get rid of one of your best players? It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense.
It makes no sense at all. I'd be getting rid of another bloke with the initials LB. That'd just be me, but...
And that's no disrespect.
No, and I'll let you work out who I'm talking about. A bloke LB is who I'd be looking at. Flick.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Nah.
That's just me.
Right.
That's just me.
But, I mean, if they were to get this, Tigers could have a pretty good-looking forward pack next year.
Clemmer, Coruscant, Uto Kamano, who's a beast. Papali'i Bateman, Offengawi. Bateman still hasn't signed. That is... But I agree. That's a fucking great starting side. I don't know what their rotation would look like, but that's a phenomenal starting 8.
Look, it's okay.
It's okay. Whatever. I would... it'd be interesting to see how if the Knights get Hastings and then how that goes. Hastings being the man, but Ponga's the man, and and Ponga's obviously the man. But then if Hastings has that sort of I'm the man personality, couple of
Well,
men,
they need more men at the Knights.
They
that's for damn
definitely
sure.
do
They don't
need
have enough
more men.
They're fucking menless up there.
They tried to
got
get
one
a
man.
real man in Ruben Garrick, and he went, "Hey, fuck you! How about I sign a 4-year extension with Manly, and you can just suck
They
on
tried
my
to get. They
hot
tried to get a
balls."
fucking man's man, and they
Yeah.
didn't. So
Sorry.
they're short of men up there.
Well,
so
they
need
tried to get a
fix.
Manly man.
Well, they've got no men, so they need men. So Hastings, if they can get that man's a good option.
It says here in the Fox article that's talking about this potential trade, that says the Tigers view Hastings as a lock, despite 3 of their 4 wins last season coming with him at number 7, which is just the most DMC thing.
That is DMC. They see him as a lock.
Good stuff. Well done.
Well done, Tigers. Eddie, I think that's us, buddy. What do you reckon?
Sounds like it, buddy.
Before we go, Edward, punters and dribblers, Thursday, 6 p.m, Big Day Wines. We're back.
Wait, listen here, cunts. 6 p.m, Thursday, that's Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Hellosport.shop. The greatest rosé to ever hit the lips of mankind is going to be on sale once more. Hellosport.shop. Do not miss out. We're making as much as we can, punters and dribblers, but when you start out, you got to start out small and you got to build up. So there's not.
They're just
be
trying
a
to keep
fuckload
up with demand. They'll go quick again because
there's not going to be heaps of it. There just isn't going to be heaps of it. So make smart decisions, make intelligent decisions, make decisions that your grandparents and your parents would be proud of.
your ancestors, those that we lost in the great cataclysm of the last ice age,
Do
them
it for
proud.
those that came before you.
Yeah.
Okay, simple as that.
And
Do
those
it
that will
for
come
them.
after.
Do it for them.
Big Day Rosé,
Okay.
Thursday, 6 p.m, Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. That's us. Bye-bye.
Could you two just not talk anymore?